Good day, friends. The air, land, and the oceans have already been subdued by you, and as the International Day of Human Spaceflight looms closer, it's only befitting that we move even beyond all that to conquer space. Yes, really, we're serious. This is not a joke. A unique vehicle, the Soviet-heavy Lunar Rover Object 279, has been found on the surface of the Moon. If you want to add it to your collection, you'll have to build a rocket and send it all the way to the Moon and back. The tank is so bulky, though, that it won't fit any rocket we can build. So, we'll have to transport it back to Earth piece by piece. First, its turret, then its hull, and finally, its undercarriage. Once all three parts have made it to the Earth, you can reassemble the tank in all its glory. Okay, let's discuss the process in detail. We must build a rocket. The whole thing takes place in the special hangar menu, Workshop, Space Race. We'll use raw resources to create special materials. Then we'll produce parts out of those materials, and then utilize those parts to build our rocket. It's really simpler than it sounds. We set the system in a way so that it's always clear exactly what you need and what to do, and in what quantity at all times. There just aren't any wrong crafting options. How does one acquire resources? Through combat, of course. For every 10 minutes you spend fighting in random battles, you receive a container full of raw resources. By the way, every single second counts. Any extra time you have by the end of the match will automatically be added to your next match count. We're counting your time in all arcade and realistic battles, in simulator battles for ground forces, and also in the April Fool's event. You need to field a vehicle of the second rank or higher, and to actually contribute to the efforts of your team, you won't get a reward if your battle activity is below 50%. Every container gives you 7 to 9 units of raw stuff. If you're lucky, you can also get some random material. All resource drops are completely random, which means that at some point you might have too much of something and then not enough of some other thing. What can you do then? It's simple. Go to the market. It will prove invaluable for your space exploration efforts. Okay, so we turn raw materials into manufactured materials, then use those to make parts, and then use the parts to build a rocket. All that obviously takes time, but you can speed up the process somewhat by building a few different parts at the same time. Are we ready for launch? Almost. Oh, one more thing. We have to fuel our rocket. Spacecraft fuel is made out of two components, fuel and an oxidizer. You get both by fighting, just like containers with raw materials. As simple as that. Have some extra fuel left? Exchange it at the market. Someone might need that. Need more fuel for your launch? Go to the market. You get the idea. The flight itself, though, is also not that fast. But there is a way to drastically boost the speed of your rocket. If you end up claiming the first place on the leaderboard at the end of the match, apart from the usual resources, fuel and oxidizer, you will also get a unique item, an article with scientific data. When you have a bunch of them, articles form special collections of scientific data that are then used to increase the speed of your rocket. If you use a small collection made of 10 articles, the rocket will reach its destination in 9 hours. If you have a medium collection consisting of 30 articles, that'll be 3 hours. And a big collection of 50 articles will land your rocket in a single measly hour. Obviously, there's no need to tell you where you can go if you have too many of those collections, or not enough of them. Okay, a small hint. The M-A-R-K-E-T, the market. Okay, the rocket made it safely back to Earth and brought the first part of the legendary Object 279, its turret. In order to transport the remaining 2 parts, you'll need to build and send 2 more rockets. You already know the drill. Then all that's left is to assemble the tank. Here it is. The Soviet heavy tank featuring a stabilized 130mm gun, thick armor, and an unusual 4-track undercarriage. That's not all. If for some reason you aren't interested in fielding this amazing tank, it can be exchanged for the AU-1 Corsair multi-role fighter aircraft. Even just an extra turret, if you have one, has its uses. In exchange for it, you can get a German armored car or a British steam gunboat. One last thing. If you missed the start of the event, it's not that big of a deal. We planned in a way so that there is plenty of time for anyone to achieve their event goals. The space race will end on the 13th of April at 2 p.m. Moscow time. That's GMT +3. From that moment onwards, you won't receive any containers or scientific data anymore. Then you will have a full week right up to the 20th of April to use all the collected resources, finish all projects, launch all rockets, and get your prizes. Yes, that means that all event items will stay in your inventory up to the 20th of April. Well, that's it. The space race is officially on. Build your rockets, send them to the depths of space, fight your battles, and for the love of the holy T-34, use the market to your advantage. It can be a godsend to your space mission. And yeah, do bring us news from the surface of the moon.